Stop right there if you are over the age of 60, or if you love someone who is. What I am about to tell you may shock you. Every single day, elders across the world suffer not because of disease alone, but because of something far simpler: loss of movement. Did you know that one of the greatest predictors of death in elders is not blood pressure, not cholesterol, but whether or not they can stand up from a chair without using their hands? Think about that. A simple test of standing could be the difference between life and death. And yet, millions ignore this reality until it is too late. I am Dr. Klenam, a veteran medical doctor, and I have spent decades watching patients decline not because their time had come, but because their joints stiffened, their muscles weakened, and their courage disappeared. But in Japan, I saw something different. I saw men in their 70s walking to the market with straight backs, women in their 80s kneeling at temples, rising without effort, even 90-year-olds tending gardens, laughing, squatting, bending, moving like time had forgotten them. And I asked myself, what is their secret? The answer was not hidden in a pill or an expensive therapy. The answer was hidden in movement. 6 simple daily movements done consistently with purpose that keep Japanese elders youthful, strong, and free. And tonight, in this long teaching, I will guide you through every one of them. Step by step, story by story, we will journey into the heart of healthy aging. And I promise you, if you listen to me, if you begin today, you may just rewrite your own future. Let me start with a story. I once had a patient, Mama Grace. She was 68. She walked into my clinic leaning on her son's arm, her knees swollen, her back bent, her eyes weary. She whispered, "Dr. Klenam, my body feels like a prison. Every step was pain. Every night was sleepless." And yet, after 3 months of practicing just 2 of the Japanese elder movements I am about to reveal to you, her life transformed. I watched her kneel to pray without tears. I watched her walk unassisted into my office, smiling. And she said to me, "Dr. Klenam, I feel free. That is why I am here." Because if it worked for her, it can work for you. The first movement is called Shiko knee walking. Imagine kneeling on a mat, sitting back on your heels, then moving forward, knees gliding, body balanced. To an outsider, it looks strange, but inside the body, miracles are happening. The hips, knees, and ankles open fully. Cartilage, which has no blood supply, is nourished as though it were a sponge dipped in water, squeezed and released with every glide. Without this kind of motion, cartilage dries, cracks, and pain begins. But with it, the joints remain alive. One of my patients, a 72-year-old man, began with only 30 seconds a day. His knees trembled, his ankles screamed, but he persisted. 3 months later, he shocked his grandchildren by kneeling and playing with them on the floor. He cried when he told me, "Dr. Klenam, I thought my body was finished. But I feel alive again." That is the power of Shiko. And if you cannot begin fully, start with cushions. Start with seconds, but start. Now, the second movement, the squat hand reach. Every morning, Japanese elders squat deeply, arms extended, rising and lowering with the rhythm of breath. Why is this so powerful? Because squatting is life itself. Studies show your ability to sit down and rise without support predicts longevity. Why? Because squatting tests everything: strength, balance, flexibility, and coordination. It is the full orchestra of the body. One man, 75, came to me trembling after 2 falls in his bathroom. He feared showers more than death. I taught him squats. At first, he held a chair, knees shaking, sweat pouring, but day by day, he grew stronger. 3 months later, he looked me in the eye and said, "Dr. Klenam, I am no longer afraid." Fear left him because his muscles returned. And I say to you, fear lives in weakness, but confidence is born in strength. Movement is medicine, but sometimes the body needs more. That is why I recommend Forever Freedom. It is aloe vera combined with glucosamine and chondroitin nutrients that cushion joints, reduce inflammation, and lubricate movement. Think of it as oil for rusty hinges. When combined with these movements, it is not just relief, it is renewal. Many of my elderly patients take it daily, and they walk into my clinic smiling, pain-free. If you are over 60, you cannot ignore this. Now let us move to the third movement. The torso twist. Simple? Yes, but life-giving. Elders stand tall, arms out, and gently rotate side to side. What does this do? It wrings out stiffness from the spine. It awakens circulation in the core. It massages the organs, helping digestion and balance. Remember this, your spine is the highway of your body. If it stiffens, everything slows. If it stays supple, energy flows. I once had an 80-year-old lady who twisted daily. She had digestion better than women half her age. She told me, "Dr. Klenam, I twist, and I feel young." The fourth movement is toe lifting and balance. Japanese elders rise on their toes. Hold, lower, repeat. It may seem small, but it prevents one of the deadliest risks of aging, falling. Toe lift strengthen calves, ankles, and balance your foundation. Imagine the roots of a tree. If they weaken, the tree topples. But if they grip the earth, storms cannot move it. That is your body. Strong toes, strong balance, no falls. And remember, one fall can end everything. By now, if you are still with me, type Dr. Klenam in the comments. I need to know you are listening, because what I am teaching can save your life. The fifth movement is the says a sit and rise. Elders kneel to sit on their heels, then rise to standing, then sit again. This constant change trains heart, lungs, and legs all at once. It is circulation, it is strength, it is grace. One 90-year-old man told me, "Dr. Klenam, I can rise because I never stopped practicing." And truly, he moved with the elegance of a dancer. Finally, the sixth movement, breath stretch. Arms raised high, deep inhale, then fold forward, long exhale. It expands the lungs, feeds the brain with oxygen, and calms the nervous system. This is not just exercise, it is life extension, because when breath flows, life flows. I have now revealed all six: knee walking, squats, torso twists, toe lifts, says a sit and rise, breath stretch, 6 movements, 6 keys to longevity, 6 secrets of Japanese elders who live long, strong, and free. But let me remind you, movements alone are not enough if your joints are already crying. That is why I urge you add support. Forever Freedom is not just a product, it is a gift for your joints. Imagine living without pain, waking without stiffness, climbing stairs without groaning. That is possible. Call today. Do not delay. Because every day lost is another day of pain. My friends, listen to me carefully. The health of your joints is the health of your future. Many people don't understand this until it's too late. They think joints are like clothes. Wear them out, and you can replace them. But no, my friend, you only get one set of joints for life, and once the cushion, the cartilage begins to wear away, there is no factory, no pharmacy, no hospital in this world that can replace it perfectly. Doctors may give you painkillers, they may inject you with steroids, they may even replace the joint with metal and plastic, but nothing ever feels like the original design your creator gave you. That's why I say joint care is not an old person's topic, it's everyone's topic. Children who sit for hours with screens are weakening their hips and spines. Young adults pounding the gym with heavy weights but no stretching are silently tearing their knees and shoulders. Workers bending, lifting, twisting all day are wearing out their backs without even knowing it. Mothers carrying babies on one hip are straining their spines, and the elderly, who once ignored the whispers of stiffness, are now listening to the screams of arthritis. I have seen it so many times. A man in his 30s comes to me with knee pain. He says, "Doctor, this should not be happening. I'm too young." But when I ask about his habits, he confesses he never stretches, he ignores hydration, and he has been loading heavy weights for years. His joints are speaking to him early, warning him. That's a whisper. If he listens now, he can save himself decades of pain. And here is where I must teach you the Japanese secret again. Why do they move so well in their 80s and 90s? Because they never stopped moving in their 40s and 50s. They squat daily. They walk everywhere. They stretch before they sleep. They garden, they kneel, they rise. These little daily rituals are not exercise programs. They are lifestyles. And it is lifestyle that preserves joints, not quick fixes. Now let me tell you something very important. Motion is lotion. The fluid inside your joints, the synovial fluid, is only produced and circulated when you move. If you stay still, your joints dry out like an engine without oil. When you move, even gently, you pump nutrition into the cartilage. You bathe the surfaces. You preserve mobility. That is why sitting all day is poison. That is why movement is medicine. But I also know movement alone is not enough. The modern diet is stripped of many nutrients joints need. This is why we see younger and younger people with arthritis, inflammation, and stiffness. Your body requires building blocks, glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, and anti-inflammatory support from natural sources like aloe vera. This is where Forever Freedom becomes not just a supplement, but a joint saver. It's like pouring premium oil into a rusty hinge. With time, the grinding eases, the stiffness reduces, the movement improves. I have seen men and women over 50 return to climbing stairs, walking in markets, even dancing again, because they nourish their joints instead of ignoring them. But hear me well. This message is not only for those already in pain. It is for the young man who thinks his knees are indestructible, the young woman who runs daily on concrete, the student glued to a chair for hours. If you start joint care now, you will walk freely when others are limping. Prevention is always easier than repair. Always. And I must remind you, pain is not the first sign of damage. Stiffness, weakness, loss of flexibility, these are the whispers. Your body is telling you, care for me before I fail. If you wait until pain screams, it may be too late to reverse the damage. That is why I always say, your body whispers before it screams. I remember one of my patients, a woman of 68. She told me, Dr. Klenam, if I knew in my 40s what I know now, I would have stretched daily, walked more, and nourished my joints. Now I pay the price. Her story is the story of millions. But your story doesn't have to end that way. That is why I am teaching you now, so you do not repeat the same mistake. So, what must you do? Move daily, like the Japanese elders. Stretch, balance, walk, rotate your joints. Treat movement like brushing your teeth, something you never skip. Hydrate, eat wisely. Add nutrition for your joints before they dry and weaken, and avoid unnecessary medical tests that only create fear without benefit. This is not a suggestion, it is a command from wisdom. Because the truth is simple, when your joints fail, your independence fails. And when your independence fails, your spirit begins to fade. I do not want that for you. I want you standing tall at 70, walking strong at 80, bending freely at 90, and it is possible if you start now. So let me leave you, once again, with my motto. Let it guide you. Let it echo in your mind every morning when you wake up. Your body whispers before it screams. Listen early, act early, protect your joints today so you can stand tall, walk strong, and live free tomorrow. I am Dr. Klenam. This is not fear, this is wisdom. Type Dr. Klenam in the comments if you are part of this movement for stronger living. Like, share, subscribe, and pass this truth to someone you love. Because health is not a gift, my friend. Health is a choice.